What is going on, everybody? We got a very special guest today. We have 49ers linebacker and standout special teamer, Demetrius Flannigan-Fowles. I'm excited to get into my guy's career, where he's been, and where he's going. And we're going to get into it all right after this. Let's go. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Love to see it. DFF in the building. Was good.
That video was hard.
Hey, right? Hey, I still watch it. I'm like, dang, that intro's good, man. How you doing, brother, man? Thank you so much for your time. What are the vibes like, man?
Man, I'm blessed by the best, man. Just trying to make a way out of no way, man. Just trying to lock in and work and just chill. That's all.
Absolutely. I feel it. I mean, so it's not quite that time yet, but
not yet.
It's the off-season program technically has begun, right? So guys are trickling into the building. You've probably met with some coaches and stuff like that. What's the vibe so far with, it's I don't know if it's technically OTAs, but it's kind of the off-season. Like what's it like so far?
I mean, it's the same like how it always is. There guys just coming in there just to get better and find ways we can get better and work out. And that's all it really is. There's really nothing much to it.
Absolutely. So like what is it more just like meetings and workouts? Is that really what it is? You guys just kind of maybe go through light install and more just kind of like weight training, get your body right, stuff like that?
Yeah, just meetings and workouts. That's all it is.
Yeah,
just meetings and workouts.
So what does your off season look like? Do you live in the Bay? Do you go home somewhere? Like what does your off season training look like?
Yeah, so I stay out here in the Bay and work out and kind of just make sure I like to be in one spot. I don't like to do a lot of like moving around because all that flight and stuff can make you a little tired. So I just try to stay in and make sure I get a good workout and take care of the body.
Absolutely. First of all, congratulations on re-signing with the San Francisco.
Oh man, appreciate it.
Man, like so, obviously, with the draft tomorrow, everyone's getting excited about the draft. You're like seeing all the calls and stuff like that. But like for a guy like you who was undrafted, do you have kind of like a chip on your shoulder from like going undrafted, or is it just something that was from the past and you're just focused on getting better every day?
Yeah, I feel like that's just something in the past. I feel like everybody does want to get drafted, and obviously, it has proven that it doesn't matter, if you get drafted or not. But I don't really dwell on that. Like that's something that's behind me, something that I can't control. Like I always try to control the things I can. And I don't really look in the past and be like, oh, that makes me mad every time drafting comes around. Like, no, like I'm not like that at all. Like I just, I'm happy for the guys that get drafted, and I'm also happy for the guys who sign as undrafted free agents because like that's also an opportunity of a lifetime that not a lot of cats get. So yeah, I'm just happy for guys, new guys to get into the league and really fulfill their dreams.
Hey, I love that mindset. That's a phenomenal mindset. And I mean, look at you, man. I think the NFL stands for not for long, right? And you're heading into year 5. Like
they don't say that.
Hey, I feel it, but it speaks to like, the type of player you are, that the fact that you can make it that long in the NFL, like that it's not easy, right? Like it's a grind every day, and like they're always bringing new cats in, right?
Yeah, it's all God, man. From this point on, it's been like that forever. It's all God.
Absolutely. Hey, I love the mindset though. Have you been doing any boxing? I know Fred and Dre. I think you go up with MJ Hamid. what's that like? Because you guys have been doing that for a while, right?
Right, man. Shout out to MJ, man. He's took us in, man, and he's been in there working us, going for a whole. I think we go. Do we go? I don't know if we go 3 minutes. It feels like 5 minutes. We go for round, man. But we just go in there, get a little work on our conditioning, man, work on our hands and stuff like that, man. It's a nice little change of pace from just being on the grass all the time, man. And it's gotten us better for sure. And shout out to MJ again, man. Like he's really took us in and got us better. So
have you seen the biggest improvements in like kind of your stamina, but also to just like hand-eye coordination? Because obviously when you're playing defense, man, you got offensive linemen trying to get their mitts on you, so you gotta get off there.
Exactly. So that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what we do it for: hand-eye coordination and stamina, man. And I know I've seen a difference, and I know Fred's seen a difference as well as Dre. So we love it.
Well, I don't know if there's any correlation, but Fred has just been punching at the ball like for the last 2-3 years like crazy. I don't know if there's correlation, but he's coming in.
He's different for sure. I'm still trying to figure out how he just hits it so perfectly too. I'm like, dang, bro, like how you do that? But yeah, man, he's legit.
The timing he has is wild. But I want to talk a little bit kind of about your year because, like, as a special teamer, man, like I think you were tied for 11th in the league in special teams tackles, which was tied with one of your teammates, Oren Burks.
Mm-hmm.
So you're basically top 10 in special teams tackles, man. And that's difficult because like it's punt team, it's kickoff coverage, or and like you've got so many guys running downfield. Like what's the mindset to be able to put yourself in position to make that many plays?
I kind of focus on, and also shout out to Gio and on OB and all the other guys in the special teams room, man. I can name a whole list of us, but man, we kind of always just want to play, fast and physical and try all of us just get down there and try to make a play on the ball. Fortunate enough that I've made a good amount, but I can't discredit the guys around me that are either that help me make the play or around me or just kind of cause a little cluster and I just clean it up, man. So I couldn't do it without the guys who are on the field with me for sure.
I mean, George Odom comes in, leads the league in special teams tackles. That guy's going crazy.
He's different. No, he's different. He's different.
I remember, not to bring up old wounds, but the first play of the NFC Championship game, I think, was a special teams play, and he straight up like hip checked someone. I was like, all right,
yeah, man.
Felt like that kind of encapsulated George, like in a little bit of a nutshell.
Exactly. Exactly. That boy's on go every single time, man. I love it.
Absolutely. But of course, like you don't just play special teams. Like you're a linebacker for the San Francisco 49ers. You got your first sack of your career against the Panthers.
Yeah.
What was that like? Was that a special moment? Was it like next play on to the next, or were you like reminiscing later? I mean, again, like we talked about the journey, man, going from undrafted free agent. Now, like how long you've been in the league? You're getting a sack now. You're getting more playing time. Just, what does that feel like?
It's during that time, man. It was obviously 2-minute drill. So during it, I was to get a sack, and then I got to go back and make another call. Right. So like during that time, it was like, oh man, we're going back to it. I tried to get my little Black Panther Wakanda Forever sign because we were playing the Panthers and stuff like that.
Okay.
So I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do that real quick, and then we have to run back, and I'm over there breathing all heavy and whatnot because obviously I said it's a 2-minute drill. But man, it's great, man. It's great to see how far I came. I mean, like you said, like I didn't really like, think about it until afterwards. I was like, oh snap, I did get my first sack of my career, so it was like, oh man, that's crazy. given how far I came, man. But again, like I said before, man, it's all God, man. Like I ain't got nothing. I ain't got nothing to do with that, man. I just took advantage of the opportunities that He laid out for me.
Absolutely. And it's speaking of opportunities, obviously you came in with another undrafted free agent
Hmm.
with Aziz
My dog,
Al-Shair. Oh my gosh. He
my dog,
he turned into a baller, right? Like
my dog.
just talk about going 100 miles an hour like all the
Oh
time.
man,
Like
my
I think
dog.
my favorite Aziz moment, I think it was the Rams game. I
Hmm.
think it might have been Daryl Henderson. He like comes downhill and
Hmm.
just rocks him and just
Crack toss, yes.
collapses face mask. I was like,
Yep, yep, yep.
what are they
Man,
doing in San Francisco, man? Why are the linebackers so different out there?
man, whew, I don't know. I couldn't even. I can't even pinpoint it, man. I can't pinpoint it at all. It's just a room. We just all have a great relationship with each other, man. I think that's what it is. Like we're just so tight knitted, and starting off with when Miko was here, and obviously you got Johnny, who's our position coach now, man, and they just created a tight knitted group, and that's just how it's always been, and the standard's always high, as you can see, with Fred and Dre and Aziz, it's high, so so we all try to go in there and not let each other down, and
I love
man,
that competition in that room. You kind of spoke to it a little bit, and you know, it was rough seeing D'Amico go, but also at the same time, couldn't be happier for D'Amico. Like,
hmm
I don't know if there's more deserving
no,
coach.
he
Like, I mean,
deserved it.
after his rookie season as defensive coordinator, we're like, all right, wow, we might lose him after 1 year. He did such a phenomenal job. He comes
Hmm.
back. But since 2017, he's been with the 49ers in a coaching role and has made
Hmm.
his way up, and obviously is now the head coach with the Texans.
Hmm.
But can you speak to a little bit about the 49ers pouring into, and I feel like the linebacking room is such a great example because you have Fred Warner, who's a third round draft pick, probably the best, I would say the best linebacker in the NFL. You
I
have
agree.
Dre Greenlaw, fifth round
Second
draft pick.
second best line. Well, 1A and 1B. Let's just say
There,
that.
I like that. Perfect. Dre went crazy this year. You
Hmm.
had Aziz, who
1C.
probably
Yep.
could be a starter on any other. I mean, he was a starters,
Hmm.
but like starting like Mike, right?
Hmm.
Um, but you got Fred, and then you got you. You've got Marcelino now in the wings, like
OB, Curtis Robinson. It's a whole.
OB, Curtis Robinson. I mean, and it's been like just ongoing. Like, how would
Hmm.
you speak to the development like inside the building? Of course, with your room because you've seen it all, but just
Hmm.
also like as an organization.
I mean, it just goes back to the standard. You know what I'm saying? Like when I came in, there was already a standard because we had it was what me, Dre, and Aziz all came in together. Miko was our position coach, and then you had Fred and Quan, Malk, Mark and Zacha. Like we had some guys who really like set a standard for us, and we kind of was like, it was always as a rookie, it's gonna be hard on you for sure, but like all that stuff just groomed all of us, with Dre and Aziz really sprouting on defense, and Mark looking over me and special teams wise because like that was my niche, right? So
Right.
man, and shout out to them, man. Like 'cause they just groomed us and told us what way to go, and we just kind of took it. We just kind of took it from there. So now when guys come in now, like we kind of like to do the same thing. Like we want to help out. Like we don't like that all like we gonna look at you with a little stink eye because you're a new guy in the group. Like, no, we're not doing that. Like, we're not doing that. We want to help you out and and see if we could groom you to take your game to the next level, man. So that's just how our room is.
I mean, it's awesome because when you look at that linebacking room, like I talked about, it's just like it's just continuing, and it's like now it feels like with Aziz going, he went to Tennessee with Rand, right?
Hmm.
Um, Now there is an opportunity available. You have Oren Burks, and right now Marcelino. You talked about Curtis Robinson as well.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like there is an opportunity for you to even take that next step and continuing to just better yourself and take advantage of any opportunities that might be made available?
Man, I don't even like think about stuff like that, man. I just try to make sure I go in there, and it may sound boring when I say this, but like that's just the kind of guy who I am. I'm just trying to better myself each and every single day. Like whatever I can do to benefit the squad in any type of way, I'm gonna do it, man. And that's how I look at it, man. I don't like to get my head wrapped around in the whole, oh, it could be this, it could be that, man. I just try to, put my right foot in front of my left foot or my left foot in front of my right foot, whichever way I'm walking that day, and try to keep my head down and work, man. I can't get caught up in all that, man. I just got to take things day by day, man. And I like to help out in any way I can. So, that's just who I am.
I mean, it seems like a phenomenal mentality. Control what you can control, right? And not let
Yeah,
anything really try to get in the way of that, right? Just like
yeah.
handle your business. You know what you got to do. You got to put your work in. You got to study and you got to
Mhm.
get right. And everything will fall into the way it's supposed to fall into, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
So I can definitely vibe with that. I
Mhm.
don't think that's a boring answer. I think that's
Yeah.
most likely the correct answer.
Yeah. Yeah.
But um kind of sticking in that linebacker room,
Mhm.
um what were some of the things that like you were able to like learn from D'Amico and of course Johnny Holland as well, right? And
Yeah.
what have those guys meant to you early on in your career?
Well, I came as a safety into
Yep.
into
You're
it's
It feels like
yeah.
all you guys were safeties at one point.
Exactly. So I came as a safety into being a linebacker. So man, they had to really build me from the ground up. So anything I've learned is from them, right? So like
Yeah.
it's all because of them, and shout out to them, man, for grooming me and turning me into the player I am today, man. Because like I said, man, I used to used to be a full on run play, and I'm damn near in the hook. I'm like, I ain't used to all this. Like it's a lineman climbing up on me so fast. I'm like, good lord, like yeah, man. So shot like they really just taught me from ground up on how to be a linebacker, and I think it's working out so far. So
Has that been the hardest thing transitioning from safety to linebacker, dealing with the offensive lineman trying to get to
oh
second level?
oh yeah, definitely. Because safety, you're coming from depth in as a linebacker. Oh yeah, you're gonna get counted in the box.
Yeah.
So it's it's like, oh yeah, Mike 5'4" or Mike 4'5". It's like, oh okay, all right.
Yeah. You're like, okay, we know what's going on here.
Exactly.
Because it's like it's way different. Because like if you're from depth, like, hey man, you're gonna be more athletic than any of these
Hmm.
offenses. You hit them with a little
Yeah.
slip or something, kind of slip
Are they
under a
not?
block.
Are they not just gonna count you? They're not gonna count you in the box. They don't know you're coming down the box. So
Yeah,
that's also a plus.
absolutely. So do you feel at home at linebacker now?
Oh yeah. It took a couple of years, but yeah, I feel at home now. I feel at home now. I can't imagine myself being in the post anymore. I can't. I can't do it. Not in this league. Nah.
Well, we know it's a passing league, so and we you look at Fred. I mean, you got Fred out here covering the post, like a deep middle, like he's out here doing crazy things. I
A
forget what was
freak.
it like. I mean, there's so many examples. I could go back to 2019 when he was on Hollywood Brown and he was on all these guys,
Yep.
and even last year, I think the one that can't comes to my
CD.
mind was the Washington game.
Man,
I don't know. I just know he
Fred
was.
got so many clips, man. Just
I
pick one at this
know
point.
they call him All Pro Fred for a
Yeah,
reason.
exactly.
So I mean, yeah, I love the linebacking room, and because it's like you can almost count, and it's like Marcelino too. It's like
Mm.
you got to
Mm-hmm.
see Marcelino flash last year
Oh
as an
yeah.
undrafted free agent,
Oh yeah.
and it's like, all right, we got something here. Like it hurts losing Aziz, right? But I mean, I like OB. You got OB, you got Marcelino, and we got yourself, got Curtis. So it's like, yeah, losing Aziz stings a little bit, but at the same time, that LB room is stacked.
Yeah, man. We got some good guys in there, man. So it's gonna be a fun year.
Absolutely. Speaking of stacked, the San Francisco they surprised me a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised if you were surprised as well when they signed Javon Hargrave and brought him onto the squad. Obviously, as I'm sure you know, and I'm assuming because I never played defense to that level, but like I'm assuming if you're a linebacker and your defensive line is stacked,
you love it.
You probably couldn't be any happier.
You love it. You love it. Like it's like when you're a kid, you go to Disneyland for the first time, and it's just like, that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is.
Just running around, untouched,
unscathed.
Yeah. No linemen are getting off the doubles because you've got Javon out here stonewalling two guys.
Exactly.
Like, all right, I'm going to my gap. That's it.
Yep. That's exactly what it is, man. It's just. I've been very fortunate to be with this team for going on 5 years because it's that D line is probably the best I've ever seen.
I mean, it's awesome, man. And it's like you're gonna have Drake Jackson coming into year 2. 49ers bring in guys like Cleveland Farrell. At one point, it's like he was number 4 overall draft pick. You get guys back like Givens, T.Y. McGill,
sleeper
out of nowhere. Picked up, as a free agent and came in and made plays. So it's like, and you got, of course, the man, the myth, the legend, Eric Armstead. Still there. Eric's looking lean, by the way. He's looking lean. I'm like, are we gonna get some Eric Armstead at edge this year? Maybe. I don't know. Can't spill the tea.
Above my pay grade. I don't know.
Can't spill the tea. But
I have no idea. I got questions just like y'all, man. Everything that y'all see is above my pay grade. I'll be like, I love
it, man. Yeah, I know. 100%. But also, like, of course, Nick Bosa, Defensive Player of the Year. That defensive line is crazy now, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's oof, yeah. So imagine seeing that every day. You're just like, when the game happens, you're just like, oh, they make a crazy play. And you're like, oh yeah, well, we kind of knew that was going to happen.
Just kind of celebrate. All right, on to the next. Swipe, next play. becomes everyday type stuff. All that good stuff. That's super cool. Have you had an opportunity to meet Steve Wilks yet?
Yeah, great dude, man. Great dude. I think he's going to be a great addition to the staff, man. Like he's a head defensive coordinator. So I mean, he's a great coach, man. And I can't wait to get to work with him for real. So a lot of people have high praise for him. Obviously, he should have got that head coaching job at Carolina. I mean, we all thought, but. The ball didn't bounce his way in that aspect. Right. But, glad to have him here, man, and glad to, have his wisdom here to, groom us and make us better. So, happy he's here for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I was a little bit surprised that he didn't get that job too, because, I mean, you saw how those players were campaigning for him to get that head coaching job. And
speak very highly of him, and I know why. Just the kind of person he is, man. So, yeah, like I understand why they were advocating for him so hard to, be at Carolina.
But hey, not their problem anymore. We got him now.
Yeah, so, exactly.
Again, it's like it always. I think it's always hard year after year because we know the NFL is transactional, and there's a lot of roster turnover, and whether it's staffs, front offices, or players. It's just the nature of the league. But hey, shout out to who's ever in charge over there, because I mean, it just feels like the 49ers have done a phenomenal job since around 2017 of being able to replenish, right? Just being able to get guys, whether it's coaches, front office. I mean, again, we talked about Rand going to Tennessee. You had Queasy go before. I mean, it's just like every level there's a succession plan, and it's just it feels pretty good. I would imagine it feels pretty good for you as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like you can see it. It's a whole lot of promotions, a whole lot of guys getting opportunities to be elsewhere and really shine in the top spot. So it's good to see all the guys succeeding in different places.
Absolutely. Charlene says, what is your favorite 49ers moment thus far in your career?
I think it was my rookie year, man. After we won the NFC Championship, just being able to experience that and see that. Obviously we've been so close, but man, just to be able to be grateful just to be around that group of guys, man, because in this league, it's sometimes you don't get a chance to go back there, and fortunate enough, we've been a few times, but it's that was probably my favorite moment, seeing that confetti fall on the ground. I was hurt, but I rolled my little scooter out there and pull out my phone. Oh yeah, we won the NFC Championship.
Just vibing,
just vibing, man. Boot on my foot, just like, oh yeah.
We out to Miami, it's good.
Yeah, we out to Miami, we good, we chilling. I'm rehabbing, so I'm like, oh yeah, like I'm basically a fan at that point. So I'm like, man, but that was probably my favorite moment.
Hey, Levi's was rocking that day. I was there.
It was so loud.
It wasn't it like
I didn't think it'd get that loud, but
neither did I. I'm like, go ahead.
Yeah, like it's like every time we play a home game, I'm like, damn, like it's really like loud in here, like crazy loud. Because 2019, it was obviously crazy. We had that crazy start. We had a crazy year, and then 2020 COVID, 2021 started off slow, but obviously, did our thing. And it's just every time we go in there, it's just like crazy loud. Even in the rain games, I'm just like, well, y'all out in the rain? Like, man, shout out to the faithful, man. They really pulled through, but I'm just like, dang.
Hey, us faithful are crazy a little bit. Like,
yeah. Good crazy though. Good crazy. Good crazy.
Oh yeah. Hey, I this is what I say. I say the 49ers have the most passionate fan base. Like, the passion for the 49ers is insane.
Listen, two crazy moments. One, when we went out to Jacksonville in 2021 and that whole stadium was red in Jacksonville, Florida. I'm like, what is this? And then we went to Mexico City.
Ooh.
Mexico City was probably one of the loudest stadiums I've ever played in one. And it was literally to the point where they were booing the Cardinals. They would show the Cardinals the Cardinals on the screen, and literally the fans were booing, and I'm just like yo. And then it would be so every time we got a sack, every time you made a play, every time you touched the ball, like they were screaming. So man, shout out to the faithful, man. Y'all are top of the top.
Man, I felt that that's one where, like, if I could go back in time, I'd get my passport together and I'd go to that game, because
surreal experience.
I could feel the energy through the screen. I was like,
surreal experience.
Would you say, like, I mean, you've been a part of some big games. Like, would you say that had a playoff atmosphere?
Dog, like, if you have a playoff game out there, like it'll
home field advantage would go crazy.
Ooh, my goodness, boy. Oh man, it's dog. You can't even really explain like how loud it was. Like it was so grateful to go out there for sure.
Yeah, that looked like an awesome experience.
Mm-hmm.
I hope the 49ers go back again.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see what the international schedule is looking like this year.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I mean, overall though, since your career, er, the 49ers have been doing some wild stuff. Like
Yeah.
you talked about the 2019 year,
Mm-hmm.
obviously so close to the mountaintop.
Yep.
2020, like the polar opposite.
Yeah. Oh
And
my God.
2021, you know, a little slow start, but you end almost back in the Super Bowl, and then
Yeah.
we know what happened this year. Uh, which one is the wildest? If you had to rank one for whatever reason, good, bad, indifferent, like which one was just like you ended the year and you're kind of in that moment of reflection after, you know, again, you said you're 1 foot in front of the next kind of guy. I'm sure there's times when you're like, you sit down and you're like, man, that was a crazy year. Is there anyone that like
I
stands
think
out over the next?
I think everybody can say this. That 2021 year was crazy. You know how to run the run we had to go on for that?
Yeah. It was like playoffs like
Every
starting
week.
like week 12 or not
Exactly.
even before that. Like it was like you had to win every game.
Every single game, man. We had to win every single game, and we had to beat the Rams in SoFi. I mean, SoFi, Levi South anyway. But we had to beat the Rams. We had to beat the Rams again, and because if we didn't beat the Rams, then we had the Falcons to beat the. We had to have the Falcons beat the Saints. So the game was already like playing
Yep.
on the jumbotron, and we seen the Saints won, and we obviously we go into overtime, and we're just like, oh Lord, like I'm sitting on the edge of my seat at that point because it comes to a point sometimes where special teams is kind of down for the day because we got the offense defense sorted out because it's some big plays on the line.
Mhm.
And I'm just sitting there. I'm just like, man, this is crazy. And Stafford lobbed that thing up, and Embry picked that mug off, and you could just see everybody just hauling on the field, just celebrating, going crazy. And then we go on and we go to Dallas and beat the Cowboys, man. And then we go to Green Bay in that weather and beat them. They came out because I'm from Tucson, Arizona, so I'm not used to it.
You're like, what the
Man, we come out at halftime and that snow start coming down. I'm looking up. I'm like, man, like what is this? Like, what are we doing? And sure enough, man, we came out with the dub, and I'm just like, good Lord. Then we go on to play the Rams again, and man, we happen to be so close, man. But obviously it was heartbreaking, but at the same time, like to do what we did to get to that point was just outrageous, unheard of. That's not something nobody picked us to do that. So
No, I agree. Like that was a crazy year. And that's funny that you say that because obviously I'm on the outside looking in,
mhm.
but I had a similar perspective from, watching from the outside was like it was such a grind in the beginning of the year that at a certain point it was just like it's normal. Like
Mhm.
we knew, like, and again, our fan base, we're good crazy,
Right.
so we like to feel like we're a part of it,
Right.
and so going in week out, it was like we were living and dying with each game with you guys because like
Yeah.
we knew how important it was. We knew
Yeah.
the margin of error was this big, and
Mm-hmm.
you go to Tennessee, all the hype on the, Thursday night football, and you're like, it didn't go the way we had wanted it to, but it was
Yeah.
like, then it kind of put us back. It's like a step
Yeah.
back, and we're like, all
Mm-hmm.
right, we're back fighting again. Like, but it,
Exactly.
it did it did feel like though, because the whole year was a grind, it wasn't like a jarring situation. It was just like, all right, we know what to do. Was that
Yeah.
the feeling that you guys had in that locker room? Was just like it was 2 steps forward, 1 step back, but hey, we know what to do to get back on track.
Yeah. And I think, done a great job of getting guys who like to just keep their head down and work. So that's kind of what we did. Just kind of just went to work.
I love it, man. It's crazy to look back, right? Like
Yeah,
it's
man, it
just
is. It is.
and
Dang, it is.
you've been a part of some good runs, man. And
Yeah.
it's not going to be ending anytime soon. So
Ooh.
I'm really looking forward to what we do next year, but I don't want to look too far ahead. What
Mm-hmm.
I gotta ask, like, let me see the NFC Championship game, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
how wild just was that situation to
I've
be,
never seen that before.
right?
Never. Never seen that before. Never seen a shout out to the Eagles, man. They won. I can't be
Of
mad at them.
course.
You know, yeah, they won. Like they deserved the win. They won. But the way it happened, I was like, oh wow, like that's crazy.
Talking
So
about controlling what you can control.
yeah,
What can you control in that situation?
like what can I do? Like what can I do? Like want me to be mad today? Like, whatever. Like what do you want us to do at that point? So man, they won. Obviously, it was the way they won was wild, man. But they had and they still have a great team, man. So it hats off to them.
Of course. And because obviously, from our perspective, we know the game would have gone much differently if it was we had someone who could throw the football, but at a certain
Mm-hmm.
point we didn't have that, so we understood what it was.
Mm-hmm.
But is there like do you look at the schedule and then see that you're going back to Philly?
Yeah.
And is there any extra meaning to that game? Is it another game? Is it just like, or is it just like, is like personally, not for speaking for anyone else, is it just like that feels like there might be some extra juice there?
Well, obviously it's an NFC game, so obviously it's important.
Of course.
There's always an importance on that. But man, like it's one of those things, like I said before, man, just keep your head down and just working, when that happens, be present in that moment. Philly's always a great place to be, even though their fans are crazy as all get out, man. And, you know, yeah, I mean, it is what it
100%.
is. Yeah, it's crazy out there, but they're passionate, and you can't be mad at them for being overly passionate. You can't be mad at them. So,
Right.
man, I am looking forward to that game, man, because they're a good team, and
Mhm.
you always want to play the best, right?
Of
So,
course.
I am excited about that matchup amongst others.
Awesome. I'm of course looking forward to it, just from a fan perspective. With how much our fans were talking back and forth, it's getting a little crazy
Yeah,
there. But
yeah. It's always hilarious.
right, you just
Shout,
sitting back watching, laughing at all of us, like
yeah.
at each other's
Shout out
neck.
to the
No,
faithful, man. Shout out to y'all. Y'all are the best.
hey, we go to war for this team no matter
Yeah,
what,
yeah. Y'all are the
and we go to
best.
war with each other sometimes. But it's good. We
Yep,
again,
y'all for sure do a little family feud. I'm like, golly.
yeah, 100%. But again, we're passionate, care about the
Yeah,
team, and
yeah. Can't be
ultimately
mad at you.
just want to see everyone be successful.
Right.
What was it like, kind of seeing Talanoa Hufanga take that step that he took last year?
Oh man, man, like it was great to see, man. The way he matured from year one to year two is just it was. I can't say it was night and day because like that's kind of the person he was when he got in, like, and for him to get that opportunity and take advantage of that opportunity, it's one of those things where to me it was like, oh yeah, like if I could predict, oh yeah, I knew he was gonna do that. Like that's just the kind of guy he is, man. Like he's first one on the field, always getting extra, always trying to be a sponge, always trying to figure out ways where he can evolve his game, man. So for me, I was just like, it was only a matter of time. And I'm glad that he got that recognition and he got that nod, man. And I'm excited to see where he goes from here.
Absolutely. I mean, he went crazy. Obviously, got the recognition and all that type of stuff, but
Mm-hmm.
like started to see the instincts just like really
Yeah,
start to pop off the tape, and just like
yeah.
he knew what was going to happen. He
Mm-hmm.
jumped it, and you're like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, it was like,
Yeah, yeah.
that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Would you attribute that to study as
Oh yeah,
well as instincts? Like, you got to
yeah,
know what's going on,
yeah.
right?
Definitely, you got to know and know you know, and he knew and knew and knew. He's making plays everywhere.
Absolutely. I want to talk about just quickly. I don't want to spend too much time on it, but what was that situation like when Brock came in and took over for Jimmy against the Dolphins? Because Jimmy was
Yeah.
playing, I don't know, I would say probably the best ball that I've seen him play. I thought he was slinging it. I thought he was
Mm-hmm.
doing great work. You guys were on a run, and then
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy goes down, and then Brock comes in and maintains you guys to that dub, and then goes out and demolishes Tom Brady the next week. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what
Mm-hmm.
was it? What was it like? Kind of watching that stuff play out.
No, it's one of those other things, like the whole Huff situation. Obviously, it happened for Brock sooner. Like, you see Brock after every practice going over the plays and being on the field, like with just him and the coach, like just doing stuff over and over. Like during training camp and during like when he doing be scout team quarterback, he was making throws. Like we was literally come back in the meeting room and like, Johnny would be like, and we just be like,
He's like, you see this guy?
oh, how can we? We're trying to figure out, okay, how can we get better? And we're just like, that's just a good throw. It's just a good throw. So like when he went out there and he did his thing, like we were just like, we knew, like we literally knew. So like it wasn't a surprise to us. Obviously, we were all ecstatic for him because he worked so hard, man, and it's great to see him go out there again, take advantage of the opportunity, man. But we were just like, yeah, we knew he could do that. Like that's something he's been doing ever since he got here. So.
I mean, that's funny because that's how I felt like going over the tape, and they were just throwing zero blitz after zero blitz at him, and he
He was
kept
slinging,
finding the right
slinging.
guy, or he'd bait, like Holland would come off the edge, and he would just
Mm-hmm.
wait that 1 second, and you could tell it was intentional,
Yeah.
and then he'd bait
Yep.
out and dip out. I'm like, I was like,
Exactly.
what are we watching here? I was
Yeah.
like, okay, we'll see if he
Yeah.
can replicate this.
Mm-hmm.
And then puts up 28 on Tampa
Show enough.
Bay.
Show enough. Show enough.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
so
Shout out to Arizona native, man. You always got
yeah,
to give it
that's
up for
right. That's right.
always got
That's
to
one of
give it
your
up for an
homies.
Arizona guy. Always got to give it up for an Arizona guy.
Were you guys in vicinity or like? Because
Well, I lived in Tucson. Yeah, and he
yeah.
lived in Phoenix. So we
Okay.
were a ways from each other.
Okay. What made you pick Arizona? Was it the local school and wanted to stay home, or?
It was actually my only offer, and but I committed kind of on the spot, man. I kind of guess you could say I kind of wanted to stay home and play for the hometown team, man, and that's all it was to it, man. I loved my years over there, man. Like it was great. I got to meet some great guys. Got some brothers over there that I'm still very close with now, So it was great. It was a great 4 years. Great 4 years.
What's going on with the Pac-12, man?
Dog, jeez, like we had such a standard. We had such a standard, and literally like every year, like we had some legit talent, but now it's just like obviously you got USC and I think
they're leaving.
yeah, they're getting out of there. They're getting out of there. I mean, are you talking about as a conference as a whole? Like the conference, I don't know I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what they're doing. Again, that's one of those things where it's above my pay grade. Like I can't.
You're like, I'll let the other guys handle this.
Y'all take care of that, man. But shoot, speaking of, I think Arizona might be all right this year. I think they're gonna be pretty good, man. I'm excited to see them young boys get after you, man. So can't wait for that.
I'm a Cal fan, so
oh, boo! I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know you don't care, but it's been a wild ride ever since we got rid of Tedford. So we're just holding on for dear life, hoping something will pop. But we'll see. Oh, who knows? But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Arizona takes another step forward. But anyways, whole bunch of stuff going down. I appreciate your time, man. I really do. This has been a fun conversation.
Appreciate you having me on. Appreciate you for having me on.
Of course, brother. So you do this thing. It's probably one of my favorite things that any of the players do. And if you don't follow Flan on IG, please do. He's a great follow. You do this thing on your stories called Flan Thoughts.
Yep.
And every time I come across them, I just get a little chuckle out of them because
Yeah.
they're just it's like just simple thoughts, but you're just like, this is it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
do you have any, can you explain where that came from? And also, do you have any Flan thoughts for us?
Man, it came out of nowhere. It came out of nowhere, man. I just literally was just like, because I'm a goofy individual, so sometimes I just think of stuff and I just put it out there, and that's kind of what I did, and it got a chuckle out of everybody. I was like, oh, let me just keep this thing going every Friday. I'm gonna post a Flan thought, yeah, I don't have any Flan thoughts for you right now. I actually got to be, now that I've done it, I got to be a little bit more professional.
You got to stay on that content grind,
exactly,
man.
Exactly. So I got to be a little more professional about it. That's why I haven't posted anything in a while, because I got some things coming in the future, to kind of make it a little bit more, sophisticated, I should say. So, it's gonna be, Flan Thoughts will be making a return here really soon. It'll just be a little
good,
bit more
because I've been missing them. I'm like, where I haven't seen one in a while. Like, what's
it'll be a little. I kind of teased it a little bit, and I didn't post because I forgot. Sorry about that, but.
Hey, welcome to being a content creator.
Yep, Flan Thoughts is coming back, and it's gonna be a little bit more sophisticated real soon.
Awesome, man. I want to ask this one question. Where were you when the 49ers traded for CMC, and what was your reaction?
Oh, look. I was actually on the crib, and I was talking to one of my boys, Justin Hollins. He used to play for the Rams, he played for the Packers. And I'm just like, and we were all in the group chat, me and my boys, and I'm just like, yo, like, what? And like Justin told me, he was like, I hate you, Flan, I hate y'all. And I'm like, what are you talking? Like, what are you? I'm like, what are you talking about?
You're like, what did I do to deserve this?
Like, what are you talking? Like, what did I do? And then he showed me like, what happened. And I was just like, oh. And I text the group chat. And I'm like, I'm not doing one-on-ones for the rest of the year.
I'm done.
I'm not doing one-on-ones for the rest of the year. Like, I'm not doing one-on-ones for the rest of the year. Nope, can't do it. Yeah, man. But I was so excited. I was very excited when we got Christian, man. Like, he's a great dude, man. He's about his business. You can see it, man. But he's also a good guy to be around. So, man, shout out to that dude, man. He's a great guy.
That's funny. You're like, I'm not going one-on-one with this guy. Doesn't matter. You can't. I'm not doing it because that dude will put you in a blender. It doesn't matter who you are.
Exactly, man. He just, I just don't understand like how he does it too. It's just, I mean, I do understand, because if you probably would have watched some of his little snips in his workouts, you'd be like, God dang, like that boy's explosive. So I see why he's able to do the stuff that he does, man. But whew, I feel bad for trying to game plan that guy.
I mean, like, he reminds me a little bit of the football version of like Steph Curry in the sense of gravity. Like,
yes,
defenses have to know where he is. If he goes that way, you got to put yourself in position to stop him, even if he doesn't have the ball, because if he gets the ball and you're not in position, you're already going to have a hard enough time stopping him as it is. But
he's strong.
You're out of position. Good luck.
Yeah, he's extremely strong too. He's very strong. That's what people don't understand. Like, the boy is built, so it's just like it might hurt a little bit when you try to tackle him.
Absolutely. Well, Flan, I appreciate it, brother. This has been a phenomenal conversation. I don't want to keep you too much longer, but thank you so much for hopping on, man. Make sure you guys all go follow my guy on Instagram. Again, Flan Thoughts are coming soon, right?
Coming back real soon.
There we go. All right, brother. Feel free to drop off. I'm going to chill with the people for a little bit. But again, thank you so much for hopping on. This was a great conversation. I really
appreciate you as always, man. Keep going, man. I'll be seeing your work, bro. You're doing a great job. For real.
Thank you, brother. I really do appreciate that.
All right. Y'all have a good one.
All right, brother. Peace. DFF in the building. What a chill dude, man. See, the 49ers always talking about bringing in like good guys like into the building. Like, what a great guy, man. Shout out DFF. What a legend. That was dope. That was dope. I appreciate DFF as well. I'm excited, man. I always see it's always fun to just like reminisce about like these experiences that these guys have, like the whole just process that they go through because we see Sundays. We see Sundays, but we don't see Monday through Saturday. And it's just cool to kind of like just get to know these guys more, get to understand who they are on like a real tangible level, like how they process the same things that we see, like how do they see it? Like I thought it was funny when found out CMC was going to get traded. He's like, I'm not doing one-on-ones. Nope. Not going to happen. Not putting that on tape. That was hilarious. Shout out to everyone who vibed with the conversation. That was a lot of fun. Shout out to DFF, man. Great conversation. Appreciate everyone who tapped in. And man, I'm hoping that DFF takes a step even further in his progress because he really did. He really did take a big step into becoming a core special teamer. He's always played special teams, but like, man, he really solidified himself as a core guy. And don't let anyone tell you that special teams isn't important. So you ask 49er fans, man, like a couple years ago, you'd be pretty upset at the 49er special teams, and they had a drastic step in the right direction. George was a part of that. George Odom, Oren Burks, and DFF are at the top of the list of really helping that special teams unit get back on track. Now he has an opportunity to play some, I think it's Sam linebacker. So I'm excited about that. Shout out to all the homies in the chat. Shout out to all the SDS showing love per usual. Always good when we see the Sourdough Squad showing love. Appreciate all you guys tapping in. That was fun. Shout out DFF for joining. Make sure, trust me, follow him on Instagram because Flan Thoughts are legendary. So definitely looking forward to more DFF. Got to get him on that content creator grind. Let's go, Maine. But shout out to everyone. We got the draft tomorrow. Still can't believe it. Still can't believe it. Still crazy that we got the draft coming up. But it'll be here sooner. I mean, it is here. The draft, we're less than 24 hours away from the draft. So get ready. Get your popcorn ready. It's going to be wild. 49ers are going to definitely make some splashes and definitely looking forward to it. I'm going to catch you guys tomorrow. Haven't decided yet what exactly I will be doing content-wise for the draft, but I'll definitely be going live tomorrow. Either before the draft, during the draft, or after the draft. Probably all three, if we're being honest. But appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. Smash that like button on your way out. Appreciate you guys. I'm out of here for now. Peace.